Hello and welcome to C Squared Artistry. My name is Candace Claiborne and this is my lovely husband Tommy.
Hello.
We are here today to share our pregnancy preconception story with you. You are watching a playlist of pregnancy videos that we decided to do for you to really just share the experience that we've had in the preconception process, as well as the experience that I'm experiencing in the entire pregnancy developmental process. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. And if you have not seen the introduction to this playlist, then be sure to go ahead and watch that now so you can get caught up on exactly what we're going to be doing.
And today I tried to give my best perspective from a male perspective of what it seems like on this side of things.
Yes. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Our pregnancy preconception story really began in 2012. We had been married for 3 years at that time, and we decided to go live. That was when we decided we were going to stop using any type of birth control, any type of condoms. Like, we were just done, and we were ready to embark on whatever God had for us with regards to getting pregnant.
So the day that we went live, we weren't necessarily trying to have a child at that time. We just were not trying. And that's where we, of course, like Candace already said, we stopped using anything to block. And we just started having fun.
Yes, it was just a time to enjoy one another. We weren't pressed. We, really were just okay with the idea of getting pregnant. But again, like Tommy said, we weren't intentionally trying to get pregnant. The other thing that I think was really important to share is that we had visions of our children. We had names that God began to place in our hearts. We had thoughts of them. We had scriptures that we began praying that we felt were very ideal for our family. We began praying for our kids' lives, their spouses, all of these things. And that made it very real for us. Like, we desire to have these kids, and here's the life that we desire for them to have.
And I would also say when we went live, that's kind of when all that started really coming available to us and really becoming more real and concrete. So even though we weren't necessarily trying at that moment to really conceive, we were open to just preparing for our children. So that's what we were doing in that season.
Yeah, but it wasn't until 3 years later, which was this past summer, June of 2015, when we were having a conversation with one of our pastors, and he was just, checking in on us and seeing where we were at in regards to children and having expanding our family. And it seemed like a obvious answer to us, like, we want to have kids, of course. We had stopped preventing anything. We had been praying and praying about them, but he asked us a very key question. Do you want to tell him what the question was?
Well, his question was just, did we actually ask God? Do we actually pray to get pregnant? Do we actually pray for a child? And he made it just a great point of just the birthing of children. It's so common to us that we don't really look at that as a miracle. And it's a miracle that we see in front of our eyes every day that we just overlook because it's just so familiar to us. And with that, we both, from our conversation back and forth, we understood that we weren't being intentional about our prayers of really asking God for a child. Yeah,
we just kind of assumed, God's word says to be fruitful, to multiply. We have a desire to have children. We have ideas and thoughts of what it would be like to have the child, but we weren't asking God. And furthermore, we weren't being specific in our prayer regarding the children. So that was really a turning point for us. I'd say the other thing that came out of that conversation was realizing that we weren't on the same page.
Because I was still in the where we want children, but we're not trying. We're just not trying.
And I was more so like, I'm there too, but I do want us to have kids. But at the same time, I wasn't educated enough and informed enough on what steps to actually take to move closer to that. And so I think as you consider this, if you're married and you're considering this with your spouse, making sure that you guys are on the same page and being very honest and very transparent. And that can be kind of hard sometimes if you feel like one person is just kind of chilling and they're not really too, pressed about it. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more inclined. That's where just that open line of communication comes in.
And also just having a conversation with other people, because they ask questions that you're able to hear it from a different perspective than what you're accustomed to hearing it with. Because I thought we were on the same page.
Yeah.
And I thought we were just not fine.
So with that said, we can kind of transition into the active attempt to conceive. And we were really prompt with more information and more knowledge when we spent some time with some good friends of ours who were also in that process, and they shared so much insight with us about the physical body and ovulation and what actually is happening when you are making the effort to conceive, and the hormones and just so many different things that I personally just didn't know. Maybe some things you knew, some things you didn't know. You know what I mean? So it was just really helpful. And you guys can actually see more detail about that in the next video where I share a little bit more about the preconception process and
I won't be here.
and what you should be, what some of the things you can do to help in that process. So Tommy, why don't you share a little bit about what it was like going through, really for us, it was only about 3.5 months of trying, of intentionally planting the seed, if you will. What was that process like?
It was challenging, I guess. It was just, I don't want to say it was tiring. It wasn't tiresome. It was just a lot of, it took the sex from just being like physical to, it made it a lot more mental. It made it a lot more, okay, like what's your temperature like and the time of day. It made our sex life a little bit more rigid almost. But at the same time just being more intentional.
Yeah.
Is that a good answer?
I mean, that's what it was. Yeah. And I guess
we were doing like a certain time of day.
Yeah.
And a certain time of month and certain positions. And what else?
I mean, that was primarily it. And then just going through the months when we didn't get pregnant and the emotional like, oh man, we're not pregnant. So yes, there were times when sex did become a little bit more routine, which is not good. So you really want to be sensitive to that. I know there were times when I was even concerned about wasting the sperm on just fun sex, and I was really thinking like I was doing something, that we could really control this. And I realized I was playing God. I was trying to really take the reins, and the reality is it's not us. We can do all that we can to properly position ourselves, pun intended, or to line up our time of intimacy with ovulation and temperature taking and all of this stuff. But the word does say that one plants, the other waters, but it's God who makes it grow. So I think just that was really a big light bulb for us.
And I think just through that process, it also just brings about that whole heart of humility. It's like, it really is God who makes it grow. So sometimes we're trying to force things, and pun intended, we're trying to force things and trying to make things grow, but in reality, it's God that makes it grow. And there's things that we can do to shift of the way that we're fertilizing and the way that we are making sure that we're taking care of our bodies and the way that we're informed and that we know that we're up to speed and date. But there does just take that humility to really sit back and to ask for God to produce a miracle in through us. And I think with that humility as well, like one thing that we learned is just, we were so focused on ourselves. We were so centered on us. Like, we want a child now. But not even thinking through like the whole process of like, this child, there's a appointed time for this child to be on this planet, to be on this earth, for this child to grow up and have its friends and to know who it's supposed to know, and for its spouse, and the answer that this child is to the generation's problem. And that was one thing that we learned from my mother in love and her mother, that every child that is born is an answer to a question that has been asked. Mm-hmm. And there's a purpose within every child. And for us, we were so focused on ourselves, and we were missing the purpose that this child was going to have on this earth and on this planet. We were thinking the purpose was for our own benefit and our own gratification, which we do benefit from it, but it's not focused on us.
Yeah, so just to encourage you guys who may be in the process of trying to conceive, just know that it is God's timing. These are all great tips and tools. Information is simply just that. It informs you. But God is the one that really makes it grow. So enjoy the process, as cliche as that probably sounds, especially for those of you guys who may be trying, who may have been trying for a long time. Thankfully, we were not trying for a long time, but we did have some unfavorable results that came back through some of the blood tests that we took that showed that I wasn't ovulating, which was crazy. I mean, that was just like, I just was really thrown off by that. But clearly I'm pregnant now. And that was a low point for me emotionally. But Tommy really did a great job of encouraging me and reminding me that it's simply information. It's just what doctors know. It's only a small glimpse into how God actually works, and that God is able to do beyond what we know. So just realizing like I was able to get over that, and just to really trust God even more in the process.
Yeah, facts are helpful. They are true, but they're not truth. And for us, we really are always seeking after truth. And sometimes, even when we got those results, it was, there was the emotions that came along with those results. It was sad, it was somewhat scary. But just making sure that we were speaking words of life to the situation, making sure that it wasn't bringing a division between her and myself, and making sure that we were just united together and encouraging each other through. And then also, it was an opportunity for us to share with others and to bring them in, and for other people who have gone through the same situation, and they were just able to pray with us, which really was another boost of encouragement and results.
Yeah, so sometimes it can be challenging if you feel like you're alone and you're kind of going through it on your own. So if there is another couple or friend that you and your spouse or partner can really confide in, I think it's important to make sure that you make the effort to do that, because you need people along the way. And lastly, I would say, it's just when we finally found out that we had conceived, that baby Clay was indeed in my belly. That was an amazing moment. I will probably insert a clip here at the end of this video so you can see our actual response the moment we found out. And I would say, we were expecting it. We had begun to really put ourselves in the frame of mind that we are expecting, we are preparing, we've asked you, Lord, for this child. So we're going to live and breathe and prepare as if this child is coming. So when we saw the results of the pregnancy test, it was like exciting, but it was kind of like, okay, yeah, cool. We knew, we asked, and we know you're a faithful God, and we know your timing is perfect, and it happened. So we're excited.
That's our story.
So thanks so much, you guys, for watching this video. Be sure to continue watching. We'll have several more videos to come in this pregnancy playlist. Be sure to comment below if you have thoughts, questions. Subscribe if you have not subscribed so you can get regular notifications on each video upload. And share it with your friends and family who you think might be able to benefit from it.
And really like this video, because I don't know how many other ones I get invited back onto. So I don't want the ratings to be really high.
Yes. Good. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.